Hello everyone, this is Hakaym and welcome back to some more World of Warships, and today we're showing off a ship that's actually been around for a very long time, since at least closed beta, but I've actually never played it because I never really thought about playing it. This is the Tier 4 Premium IGN Light Cruiser, the Yūbari, essentially a upgraded version of the Katori. And like I did mention, it is, or was available since closed beta. And it's been improved, but it also has been essentially overstepped by obviously newer lines coming out. Now the ship is available in Arsenal for a few thousand pieces of coal, and I decided might as well try it because I've never actually tried it. As you can see, we are playing on straights, playing standard battle. I am joined with Darth in the Nikolai with the Rasputin skin, which I love so much. And there are a few carriers on the enemy team. So let's talk about the Yūbari. The Yūbari, like I said, is very similar to the Katori. So if you've played the Katori, this is just a slightly upgraded version of that ship. Now the ship is not the most amazing ship in the world. Real major benefit is just the very nice tight dispersion that you will see when playing the ship, due to one, the fact that they did obviously improve the IGN dispersion, and I believe this is actually my first battle with the Yūbari, so might not be entirely accurate, but dispersion overall is actually very nice. The shells, on the other hand, and the guns, on the other hand, not so much. As you can see, you only have two turrets with two guns each, and they are set up in the bow and stern, respectively. So, when making turns, such as what I'm doing, you're going to lose about 50% of your firepower every single time, which does mean a lot, considering a lot of tier 4s have a lot more guns than what you currently have. The shells don't hit very hard. They struggle to penetrate at times. The real major benefit is going to be just causing fires. Will highly recommend getting IFHE on the ship, as it will allow it to penetrate a little more. So, another aspect of the ship is its torpedoes. Torpedoes aren't amazing either. You have two twin torpedo tubes. They only have a 6-kilometer range, which compared to the Tenru and the Kuma is quite lackluster, and obviously they have a lot more guns than you. Range on the ship is 12.8 kilometers. Once again, not overly impressive, but decent at the tier 4 stage. And once again, you really do not want to be getting close in, especially against a Kaiser. A Kaiser can very much penetrate through your armor, and this ship is essentially a destroyer with a citadel. And that's one nice thing about this ship is its speed, as we actually managed to get double fires on that Kaiser, which is super nice, and that means he's gonna burn for a little while. So we're gonna get a little bit of damage there. Now, as you may have noticed, the ship actually has something unique compared to any of the other tier 4s, and that it does have defensive AA, and it has a semi-decent range, 5.2 kilometers. Now the AA guns are not, once again, overly impressive, but they are able to at least shoot down some amount of planes and cause disruption whenever a squadron is coming in. But you only have 2 charges on it, so once again, not the best thing in the world, but you at least have the potential of helping out your friendlies, especially when it's considering a Nikolai that has no AA to really speak of. Langley is coming in to attack, and this Langley actually does something very unique. It's not a terrible idea. The Langley decides to drop in at a much further distance, allowing the torpedo to travel to possibly hit the ships. However, his lead time on the torpedoes, not so much. Well, not gonna hit anything. We actually managed to shoot down a plane, which is kind of nice. And there's that torpedo. Yeah, that torpedo. Not gonna hit anyone, so shouldn't be that big of a concern. So one nice thing about the Yūbari is the rudder shift time and the speed on the ship can get up to 34 knots, I believe. I don't recall whether or not I do have the speed flag, but you can at least kind of be nimble. That's a really nice thing. The rudder shift time is very quick. You're able to really maneuver and try to dodge shells as much as possible, and that's really what you're going to be doing. So it's definitely a huge upgrade compared to the Katori. Katori, whopping 20 knots, 18 knots, I think. So huge upgrade compared to that ship. But you still got that really nice dispersion. That's one thing I do like about the ship, is just that really super tight dispersion. Does not have a very high sigma value. Or sorry, does have a decent sigma value. So it does mean you can at least land your shells a little bit more readily. Langley is coming in, and once again, AA guns aren't too bad. Getting some decent amount of damage on those planes. So we should at least help out. Unfortunately, we actually do have defensive AA. Kind of surprised I haven't used it on this. But once again, you don't have a lot of the charges of defensive AA, so you do have to be a little bit mindful whenever dealing with your defensive AA. So finally get a fire on that Wyoming. The Wyoming is going to go down to that fire. So we're going to go ahead and try to focus on the enemy Clemson, who is taking on our Koenig. And this is one thing I like about the Katori and the Yūbari. And don't get me wrong, the Tenryu and the Kuma can do just as good as job, but it's very much more reliable to actually land your shells as long as you aim properly. So do keep that in mind whenever possible. But yes, once again, very good against destroyers, just due to the fact that the shells are very tight in dispersion, so you can wreck a destroyer's day whenever possible. And good lord, my aim is quite terrible. Concealment on the ship is actually one of the best at tier 4, so you do have that going for you. Though can't really Invisitorp, so that's not gonna go for you. 8.6 on the detect, so very stealthy. Once again, kind of similar to a destroyer in a lot of ways, but you can at least keep your distance, and that's gonna be something you're really wanting to do at all times, because the health on the ship and the armor on the ship aren't the best. 18,700, not overly impressive. Clemson is coming back out. Let's see if we can finish off and get kill number 2. Yeah, look at that. That dispersion is just so beautiful to see. Managed to get kill number 2 on that Clemson. Now taking on the Omaha, and the Omaha can be quite dangerous. Actually, I think first amount of damage we received, and Kamikaze finally pops up. Like, Kamikaze is extraordinarily low on health. Omaha is dangerous just because it has a lot more guns than the Yūbari, and they fire fairly quick. Fire about the same for the Yūbari. The Yūbari has about 6-second reload on its guns. Do manage to get a fire. Probably gonna have to get rid of our fire, and that's gonna leave us susceptible to any additional fires that the last shell makes contact, knocks out our engine, and we're on fire. But Kamikaze is so extraordinarily low on health. Let's see if we can get rid of him. I don't think that's going to be the case. Managed to land a shell, but he is going to get away because our team has decided to start capping. And all that's left on the enemy team are both of the Langleys and that Kamikaze. And this Langley up north is going to go down relatively quickly, which is really unfortunate. So overall, Yūbari, is it worth it? Nah, not really. I mean, if you have the goal, if you want to try a ship that isn't the most impressive ship in the world, go for it. That's what I like to do. I like to play ships that aren't OP. I like to have fun in them, and I think the Yūbari probably kind of fits the bill because once again it's an upgraded Katori. But that is going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like what you saw, hit the like and subscribe button. You guys have a great and fantastic day. Zaijian.